All right, today we're doing measures of central tendency. It's these four, okay? Mean, median, mode, and range. Mean is the sum of the data divided by the number of items in the data set. When I want to find the average for your class, like the average for your third 9 weeks test, what I would do is I would add everybody's test score up, and I would divide by the number of students. That tells you the average. Median, it's that middle number when numbers are arranged from least to greatest. When they're in order, it's the middle number, right? Or it's the average of the two middle numbers. Because sometimes you have two numbers that are your median because they're exactly in the middle. If you don't ever, mean, I forgot to say, is average, okay? Median, hey, if you don't ever remember what median is, think about it. The median on a highway is that gap in between the two lanes. You're going down I-35 to Oklahoma City, okay? It's a 4-lane highway. 2 lanes going south, 2 lanes going north. And there's a median in between. Sometimes it's concrete barriers, sometimes it's just grass. Okay? Sometimes it's just grass. That's called the median. That's in the middle. You'll hear about wrecks where someone crossed the median, they crossed the middle. All right? So if you need to remember what median stands for, it's the middle. Right? So the middle number. Mode is the number or numbers that occur most often. Sometimes you'll have one that occurs 3 or 4 times. Sometimes you'll have 2 that occur the same amount of times over and over. Those would be your mode. Okay, so you can have more than one number for mode. Range, it's your largest number minus your smallest number. Any questions?
No.
Okay. You don't have to write this down. Just look at it. This is just some numbers, okay, to represent the House of Representatives. It says California has 53, Florida has 25, and so on. Okay? In case you didn't know, you should have learned this in government and social studies. Your House of Representatives, how many your state gets is based on your population size. That's why California has 53 compared to Illinois, which has 19. Okay? Now, these aren't exactly, these numbers change every couple of years. But what we do is we look, the House of Representatives, okay? So I want to find the mean, meaning what's the average number of what's the average number of representatives for each state? So what I do is I add those numbers up. So I add up 53, 25, 19, 13, 19, 29, 13, 18, 32, and 15. When I do that, I get this number.
You add them up and then divide by how many?
I get 236. That's the total number of reps, okay, for these 10 states. And then what I do is I divide it by the number of reps. By that number of states, sorry. So 236 divided by 10 is 23.6. So the average state gets 23.6. So each state averages 23.6 representatives. All right. The median, to figure that out, you write these in order. So 13 will be next. 15. 18, 19, 19. Okay, then you got 25, 29, 32, and 53. Right? So you order them least to greatest and you look, where's the middle number? So I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's my median? 19. Now, it works out because these two numbers are the same. So it would be that number, 19. If this was 18, what you do is you take the average of those two middle numbers. Okay? Anytime it's an even number of numbers, you're going to have two medians. So you average them, which means you add them up and divide by 2. Well, if you add 19 and 19 divided by 2, you get 19. Okay? But if you have 18 and 19, you actually get 18.5. So 18 and a half would be your median. So know what to do if you have two middle numbers. You take the average of those two, meaning you add them and divide by 2. Mode, what's our mode?
19.
All right, 19 would be one of them. Okay, but 13 appears just as many times as 19 does. All right? And then range. What would be our range? Our largest minus our smallest. 53 minus 13 is 40. Your range would be 40. That would be our numbers here. Mean, median, mode, and range. Now, okay, let's look at these numbers. If we didn't include California, how would the data change? Well, what do you think would happen to your mean, your average? Okay, it would go down. Okay, if you took out 53 from 236, which was what all of them were added up, so you take 53 out, you have a total of 183 representatives, which you divide that by 9, and your average is now 20.3. It was 23.6, so it went down 3 1/3 reps. All right. So when you take out the largest number, okay, for the most part, your average, your mean is going to go down. Did our median change?
No. Well,
Our middle number, no. If you look, count them through, 19 is still going to be the middle number. Okay. What about your mode? Would mode change?
no.
Okay, 13 and 19 still appear twice each. What about your range? What happens to your range?
Goes down.
Okay, it would change drastically. 53 is your highest, but if you get rid of it, now 32 is your highest. 32 minus 13 is 19. It was 40. All right, so you can see what happens when you don't include California. All right, we call California an outlier. It means an extreme. It's a larger number than most. All right, these, other than 53, your numbers don't change very much. 32, 29, 25, there's not a big gap. So, which measure of central tendency would change most if we didn't include California data? Mean, median, or mode?
The
Mean. Okay? Range would be, but for central tendency, they just talk about mean, median, and mode. All right? Range is just kind of another one they add in. All right, look at this. What I want you to do is read it and then just kind of take a guess, kind of see what you think, and then we're going to compare everybody's answers here in a minute. So it says Nico earned the following amounts. If he drops the lowest amount, which would be 8, okay, which of the following statements is true? So let's go through each and figure it out. The mean decreases and the median increases. The mean decreases, okay, would it decrease if we drop the lowest number? Well, let's think about it. Okay? For California, when we dropped the highest number, what happened to the mean? It went down. It decreased. What do you think is going to happen if you drop the lowest number? It would go up. So that's out. So it doesn't matter if the median increases or decreases. F is wrong. G, the mean and median both increase. Well, we said mean increases. Let's figure out if the median increases. If you ordered these, it would have been 8, 10, 12, 15, and 17. What would be your median with these 5 numbers? 12. Let's think about if we got rid of 8, what would be your median? The average of 12 and 15, which would be 13 and a half. So did the median go up? So G is your answer. Okay? Can't be mean because it does change when you get rid of one of your numbers. The mean is going to change unless they're all the same number. And then so it can't be H. Okay? And the mean and median aren't going to decrease if you get rid of the lowest number. They're going to go up. All right? So the answer was G. All right, write this down. Now, your book, okay, your book kind of focuses just on mean, median, mode. I like to add range just because the OCCT does talk about it some, not very much, but it does. So I throw it in there. But mean, median, mode can kind of be not interchangeable, but they can be used to describe the data. But they have certain moments when they're not useful. Okay, mean, okay, is useful. You want to use it to describe data when you don't have any extreme values. When everybody's kind of got the same. Just like for the example with the House of Reps, right? California wasn't extreme, but it was a large number. It was kind of an outlier. It's kind of away from the data. Let's say like you had Texas that would have like 75. Okay, what do you think that's going to do to your data? Okay, it's going to raise your mean up, okay, from 23 to like 30, okay? But does everybody have 30 reps? No, some didn't even have 20. So when you have an extreme value or a low extreme value, it changes your data, so you don't want to use mean for those cases. When there's extreme values, we call them outliers. Median, okay, you want to use it when you have extreme values, but there's no big gaps in the middle of data. If you were talking about averages of students, one's 100, one's a 10, but then everything's kind of spread out even in the middle, then you would want to use median because it shows you here's about where everybody's at, or gives you a good idea where the majority of students are. If there's a large gap in the middle, then you don't want to use it though. Mode, it's when the data has been repeated numbers, when it repeats a lot. And that's going to show you not necessarily the average, but it'll show you what most people in this class have. All right? So there's times when you use mean instead of median or mode, and there's times when you use mode over those two. All right? Are there any questions? Page 731 has all this, in case you want to go through back and look at it. All right? Here's your homework. On a couple of these, it says find mean, median, mode. I want you to find range as well.